Today I fucked up by going skiing in an inflatable T-Rex costume. Skiing in an inflatable T-Rex costume is a terrible idea. Just FYI. Unfortunately my dumbass thought it might be fun, so when I went out on a family ski trip, I convinced my mom to buy one for my 3 siblings and I. For context, I'm the second oldest of 4 at 22 years old. So this wasn't some dumb shit decision I made as a kid. This was adult level stupidity and I deserved everything that happened from here on out. So, my younger brother and sister weren't terribly keen on the idea while my older sister was all for it. Must be an age thing. So when we get out onto the slopes, we all zip ourselves up in our outfits which have to be airtight so those big, nutcracker T-Rex heads on top can bobble about. They're inflated by tiny, high-powered fans inside the suit. The one issue I do have with the design of these fuckers is the little window where you're supposed to look out of. It's tiny, plastic, and shifts around like a drunken sailor. To exacerbate matters, I'm a 6'4" guy and this thing was made for people slightly shorter than me. Seeing out of it was no easy feat. Even worse than that, the cold of the winter mountains combined with the heat of one's breath makes those little screens fog up like a motherfucker. After everyone rode the chairlift up and suited up at the top of the slopes, we were ready to go. The first ride down actually went quite smoothly, with each of us taking wide turns and going slow. We took an easy course to keep it simple and there were quite a few kids skiing alongside us by the time we reached the bottom. They loved it. Unfortunately, towards the end of the run, my younger brother's zipper came undone and his dino head deflated, inevitably blinding him and causing him to come to an emergency halt before he wrecked himself. That should have been a warning sign for me. These outfits were not meant to be skied in, but I was far too stupid to listen to such logic. When we finished our first run, my younger siblings were done. It had been fun, but suffocating in a polyester coffin wasn't worth the novelty. That left my older sister and I to do our own thing. Now as I said before, seeing out of these things was damned difficult. Having already skied one run in them, my little window was fogging up bad and the lack of airflow left me sweating like a pig. But I was determined to go on another run. My sister and I hopped on the chairlift to take another ride up, this time leaving the heads up because the process of unzipping and tucking the costumes away was such a pain. Here we are riding the chairlift. It was a bit awkward riding that way, but eventually, we made back to the top. This time around, we decided to go a bit faster to get back down and that was where everything literally went downhill. As I rode with my sister in tow and a couple kids following, my big, inflatable head blew back with the wind and the plastic window I was looking through suddenly rose several inches. A layer of sweat-smothered polyester rose over my face, flicking a nice pinch of salt into my eyes. That stung like a bitch. Reflexively, I began pawing at my eyes to clear them and immediately forgot I was also skiing along like Barney on meth. I don't remember the next few moments because my world had been reduced to billowing polyester, burning eyes, and the cries of alarm from the other kids as I twisted out of control. And I smacked full on into a chairlift pole. My sister told me it was nowhere near as dramatic as it felt. Apparently, I resembled retarded velociraptor, sliding one way and then the other, with my giant T-Rex head flapping about and cursing. She didn't have time to warn me about the chairlift pole I ended up running because she was laughing too hard. Luckily the pole I smacked into had been wrapped in a foam pad, so I only bounced off it with enough force to have the wind knocked out of me. I'm pretty sure I ended up scarring a couple kids for life. But at the very least I didn't concuss myself in the most embarrassing manner possible. I ended up laying there for a couple moments before slowly righting myself up. My T-Rex was demolished. He suffered a puncture that led to his deflation, so I rode the rest of the way down with his head flapping behind me in defeat. I will say the situation was made slightly better when a kid skied too close behind my sister and completely face planted when they tripped on her tail. It helped a little, but from that day on I've made it my responsibility to warn others of the dangers of skiing in inflatable T-Rex costumes. It's a rising epidemic in our country and deserves our utmost attention. Too long didn't read, I went skiing in an inflatable T-Rex costume without thinking it through. Ended up getting blinded by the giant head and ran into a chairlift pole, nearly concussing myself. No one had sympathy for me or my dino. Edit, because people requested it, here are some videos of us skiing in the costumes. First video. Second video. This is why dinosaurs are extinct. Reflexively, I began pawing at my eyes to clear them and immediately forgot I was a T-Rex. I can't reach my eyes with these stinky arms. You French fried when you should have pizzaed. They let you onto the chairlift wearing that. I'm mostly disappointed there is no video of the actual skiing. Today I fucked up by moving across the fucking planet. This is happening in real time. Complicated situation, so apologies for the length. I'm a 21-year-old trying to get a career in banking. An opportunity came up for an unpaid internship in Singapore. I thought, who wouldn't want to spend a few months in Singapore? New alcohols, criminally cheap massages and Asian food. The fuck up started when the time came to speak to someone. Leaving the airport I flagged a cab and spent about 5 minutes trying to communicate where my apartment was. It turns out Singaporeans speak English. They know English but they speak it with such a heavy accent and so much slang it's indecipherable to a piece of uncultured white trash like me. I've gotten really good at the smiling and nodding technique whenever someone questions me. It turns out Singapore is ranked the most expensive city to live in the world, via Time magazine, and there are no cheap massages. I knew it was a major city but I figured there would be some places on the outskirts that were more affordable. I spent the first week eating nothing but McDonald's, thank God the holy arches are all over in this damn world, until I found this little rice/noodle stand that will sell plates for a few bucks. The first day the old Chinese lady who mans the stand thought she could scam the dumb American, but after 5 minutes of animated bargaining I got the price down. Way better than McDonald's. The company I'm interning with apparently ran out of space in their main office, so they plopped my ass in a dinky little satellite office. The first week I did some work on a project for them that apparently they didn't like because I have not heard from them for 2 weeks. I sent a few emails and texts to my contacts, who are at the main office, who just said there is a lot going on for them ATM. Make matters worse, I found a friend from America a few days into the trip and we had been having a good time trying local bars out and attempting to flirt with local girls in the evenings. Well, a few nights ago we had a bit much to drink and decided it would be a good idea to take a dip in the fountain outside our apartment. After a few minutes of fun, a patrol car flies up and a pair of officers jumps out yelling at us in what might have been English. I booked it without thinking, nothing but my sopping wet boxers. I tried calling my friend after the incident and legitimately have not heard from him for 3 days now. So now I'm stuck on the other side of the fucking world. No idea what I'm doing here. No real job, the only source of sustenance is a Chinese lady with a grudge and my only friend is presumably rotting in a Singaporean dungeon. Too long didn't read, I took an internship in Singapore, can't understand anyone, my company ghosted me, and my only friend was taken by the cops. Edit 1, yes everyone. Realize I'm an uncultured American swine. If there are any local girls willing to educate me, I'll be at the local McDonald's. Edit 2, shit guys, half the today I fucked up Reddit lives in Singapore apparently. For the record, I love Prime Minister Lee and all of you for offering to help. The internet can be wholesome sometimes. Did you confuse Singapore and Thailand? Had the same thoughts when he mentioned criminally cheap massages. Taking an unpaid internship on the other side of the world, what the absolute fuck. Among the many stupid things Op did, this takes the cake. Rule 1, do your research about a country before moving to it. Rule 2, if you're trying to get a job, don't do anything for free, or that's all you'll be taken for, a freebie. Good luck man. Can't believe you didn't read anything about Singapore before you moved there? It's a famously orderly society with zero tolerance for drunk guys in a fountain type activity. Super expensive, but you can eat cheap in the hawker stalls. Find out where those are. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. You sound like the kind of guy we'll be reading about getting punished for some stupid disorderly behavior. Today I fucked up by not proposing to my girlfriend. Last week my girlfriend and I went on vacation in Stowe, Vermont. We decided to go for a walk. As we were walking, we came across this large open field with a stage in the middle of it. Oh, they must have weddings here. This is really neat. She points to a bunch of flower petals on the ground. Oh yeah. Cool. I start humming that classic wedding tune as we walk hand in hand down the field. Me, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We finally get to the stage, which is empty aside from 2 chairs and a small box. Me, whoa, a ring box. Someone must have left it here. I bend down to pick up the box. My girlfriend stands in complete silence looking shocked. On one knee, with a ring box in my hand, I open the box facing my girlfriend to reveal an empty ring box. Me, see? Too bad it's empty. Still pretty neat though. I suddenly realize everything I just did and what it must have looked like. Me, oh shit, sorry, I hate you. Oops. I ended up keeping the ring box though. It was pretty neat. Edit. To make matters worse, this is literally the 4th time something like this has happened. Time number 1, last Christmas I made her a DIY kit and individually wrapped all of the parts, yarn, glue, stamps, glitter, cards, etc. I wanted her to open up the smaller gifts first because I was really excited about some of the big stuff. She asked me what she should open first, so I grabbed the smallest box I could find. It was just a rubber stamp the size of a ring box, and jokingly said something like, "I know it's what you've always wanted." Oops. I'm number 2. Our friend had just returned from the International Space University in France. It's a real thing. He graduated at the top of his class and they gave him a medallion in a jewelry box. I called my girlfriend into the room with the box closed and said something stupid and yeah. Oops. Time number 3. My girlfriend started an Etsy shop, so I had a custom stamp made of her logo. I was excited to surprise her with it and ended up texting her the day it came in. "I have a big surprise for you when you get home." When she finally got home I told her to close her eyes and put out her hand. Oops. Too long didn't read. The universe gave me the perfect proposal and I shit all over it. Edit number 2. Well, she isn't going to leave me. She knows how much karma I bring to the table. No way she's gonna let this go. Edit number 3. She left me. Edit number 4. Lowly. Her seeing stuff like this has warmed her numb little heart more than breaking up with me ever would. Edit number 5. ITT. People who have never dated a rational human being with a good sense of humor. Edit number 6. We are engaged. Edit number 7. Oh, sorry. I accidentally hit save too soon. What I meant to say was we are engaged in debate over which of the 4 fuck-ups was the worst. Oops. Edit number 8. She said yes, smile. Edit number 9. BTW. The next proposal should be a custom stamp that says, "Will you marry me?" Or future Mr. and Mrs. Sesto, given your clear love of custom stamps. The real fuck-up is that you stumbled into someone else's well-planned-out proposal arena, and stole their ring box. Next Reddit post: today I fucked up by proposing then going for a romantic walk. When we came back someone had stolen the ring box. We were that tired from looking for the box that I ran over her dog when we got home. My fiance found it that upsetting, she has now turned me down. Fucking you start him going to go back to being an alcoholic. Okay, well, I can see the funny side of tea. Time number 1. Why would you? Time number 2. Dude. Time number 3. Stop doing this. Dude, there's a reason guys be tripping everywhere on Valentine's Day. No sane guy ever bends down to tie his shoes on Valentine's Day. You're a damn fool. I proposed to my wife in a tent. I was being suspicious about the whole ring thing and had it hidden in a bag. When she asked what I was doing, I said I had some chocolate for her as a surprise. Shortly after, I proposed. All good? She said yes. 30 seconds later she asks where the chocolate is. That's love right there. Yes, I'll marry you. But what about that chocolate? Smiley face.